Hi, my name is Peter Johnson. Welcome to Back to School Night. If you're watching this video, then I am your son or daughter's U.S. history teacher. So I'll just start by telling you a little bit about myself, and then kind of talk about the class, and yeah, just kind of fill you in on what's going on. So welcome. I'm very happy that you're here. Again, my name is Peter Johnson. When we get back to campus, we'll be in room M4, and I teach both U.S. history and government economics. So likely, I will be teaching your son or daughter next year in government and economics as well. But this is U.S. history right now. So why history or social science? I was a history major at Humboldt State University. I've always loved kind of being outdoors and learning about the world around us. And history is a story about everything that has kind of ever happened to you or me or anyone. It's the story of all of us. And I love helping like my students gain more of a sense of their place in the world. So this is, oh, covering my face here. So this is my family, my wife, Jessie, my daughter, Violet, and my son, Paul. This is a silly suit that is actually my grandpa's, but yeah, so there you go. So that's my family. Here's some more pictures of my family. So let's see. This down here, this is where I am right now. This is my office, my classroom right now online. And then here's my kids at the beach, and then camping and at the river and different places around the county. So yeah, I love being outdoors and spending time with my family. So let's go over the course info and the syllabus. Okay, so this is going to be where a lot of the information about exactly what we're working on in class. You'll see right here. So let's let it load. All right. So again, this is U.S. History Level 3 at Elsie Allen. My name is Peter Johnson. This here, the contact information, this email is probably the best way. Excuse me. But this phone number, if you call it, it goes right to my cell phone as well. So those are two different ways that you can get a hold of me at any time. The course description, I have this in the slideshow later, so I'll go over that in a second. So we're not going to go this right now, but so make sure you have a Chromebook. Your student needs a Chromebook for this class. Also, like a spiral notebook would be good. So for when students take notes, which they can use on the test. Then pens and pencils and colored pens and pencils might be needed period, periodically as well. But let me know if or you can have your student let me know if you need help getting any of that stuff. So okay, here's kind of the schedule. So this is important. I think good for parents and guardians to know. So basically, okay, so let's see. So I have U.S. history third and fourth periods. Okay, so if your student is in third period, then every Monday and Thursday they should be with me from 10:05 to 11:25. They should be signing with me every Monday and Thursday. Okay. If your student is in fourth period, then you should will meet with me every Tuesday and Friday from 10:05 to 11:25. Okay, so that's for U.S. history. This right here, what I highlighted, excuse me, is what you need to is when your student needs to be attending class. Okay. In addition, on Wednesdays, your student needs to check in with all of their teachers via Google Classroom. Okay, so for example, on Wednesday I'll have like a little news assignment or a little survey or some kind of little assignment, and that needs to be done because we are actually taking roll all for all students on Wednesday. So your student needs to check in with every one of their teachers on Wednesday. They should know this and have been doing it, but just for you to get that information as well. Okay. I have office hours and I can answer questions most afternoons from about 2:10 to 3:30. Really, you can email me or call anytime, and I'll get back to you pretty promptly. My email goes right to my phone. That number I shoot at the top goes right to my phone as well. So the most important thing for students to do is just to come to class every day and participate. Okay, if you don't come to class, you're going to lose. Well, I mean, you won't be able to understand the material, but also, I mean, it's going to be really hard to get credit if you don't come to class. You just got to come to class and you have to participate, right? So that means students need to be turning on their camera so I can see that they're participating, asking questions, being engaged. Okay, and like I said, check in an assignment every Wednesday. So our grading policy. So 70% of the grade is classwork, which is classworks, projects, quizzes, and homeworks. That's all in Google Classroom. Under classwork, the students know how that works. And 30% is also participation, which is determined by whether you are on task and follow course expectations, answer questions, participate, etc. Oh, and here, I'm just going to show you my Google Classroom while we're here. Okay, so you can get a look at it. Okay, hang on 1 second. Where the heck did you go? Oh, because I minimized. Okay, here we go. So here, so this is what I see as a teacher for Google Classroom. But so for example, okay, second period US history. Okay, so for example, so here's where I post all my Zoom, every single day. So you see, I just said see at 8:30, right? So every single time announcements, different. This is like where the stream is, where I put different announcements. Okay, but up at the top you can see classwork. And here are the assignments that students should have already created or completed. Some of these are slides and notes, but if you see it says, if it has this kind of this clipboard, that means it's an assignment. So you can see, so for example, I can see 8 students have completed this assignment and I've graded them. 1 has turned it in and I haven't graded it yet, and 3 still need to work on it. Okay, so if you're ever if your student ever has a low grade or has questions, the reason that if their grade isn't what they would like it to be is either they haven't been coming to class regularly via the Zoom meetings, or they're missing assignments in the classwork. And you can ask to look and, through this classwork and see it. I can even invite you, if you request, I can attach your email to this Google Classroom so that you could see this as well. Okay, so that's Google Classroom. Let's go back to my syllabus. Where did that go? Let's see. Okay, let's go back to my presentation. Okay. So, okay, here comes the syllabus. Okay, so here we are on the syllabus. So I'll scroll down to where we were. Okay. Yeah, so 70% of your students' grade is based on doing classwork, basically doing different homework, writings, tests, stuff like that. And then 30% of the grade, so a big chunk is participation and attendance. So you have to come, so twice a week they have to come to those Zoom classes if they want to be earning credit. Okay, they need to make sure to do that. And you can't just show up to class and not do anything and just have your screen turned off, right? You need to participate, answer questions, participate. And you can see I give them a Zoom score. So if the camera's on them the whole period and they participate, they'll get all their points. If it's kind of off, like a lot of students will kind of do like this, or they'll just be off to the side and they'll like put their hand. So if you're doing stuff like that, that's going to give you some points, but not full points. And if your camera's off and you don't say anything, like, then you're not going to get any points, because I mean, how do I even know it's you, right? So the reason is I just want to make sure that students are present and participating. Also, that I can check for understanding and make sure that students know what's going on in class. And plus, I mean, like I miss seeing all the students, and that's kind of, I mean, that's my favorite part of teaching is seeing all the students and connecting with them. So yeah, it's a lot easier if I can see your face to do that, obviously. Any homework that you do, you can always turn it back in if you get a lower grade. So that's something to be aware of. And I will give you the higher of the 2 scores. Okay. Just rules, just be cool, respect yourself, staff, peers, property. These are more to be on time for class, try to do your best, listen attentively while others are talking, kind of basic stuff. Also, so with the online schooling, it's been kind of an issue with students copying and pasting things from the internet and then turning it in as their work. They just encourage them to be very careful about that. Google has a program, where it automatically checks to see if what is written down is copy and pasted from the internet. So, I mean, this has happened a few times already this year. I had to be like, hey, you need to redo this because this is not your own words, you know? So make sure students, because, and tell your students, I would rather hear their own thoughts and spelling, whatever. I'm not as concerned about that. I want to hear what they're thinking and how they feel about a certain topic, not what, you know, the perfect answer is off the internet, right? I don't want the internet's answer. I want to know what they're thinking, right? So again, please don't hesitate to talk with me about anything. And I look forward to keeping working with your students and getting to know some of you. It's possible I'm some of your students' case managers. I'll be reaching out to those of you who that applies to. And so, yeah, okay, so let's go back through the course concept here, or excuse me, let's see. Okay, move me, present. Oh, uh-oh, hang on here. Okay, so hang on, looks like I need to share my screen again, okay. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, so in this class, the things we're going to talk about are, so this is going in chronological order through U.S. history, right? So we'll review the early U.S. history, you know, from Native American societies through the Civil War and Reconstruction, the founding of the country. This is more 8th grade stuff, but we've actually just finished this unit in class. It's just kind of a review because the thing I really like about this class is a lot of the history, the standards for this class are more recent things, and so it's easier to kind of get students interested in more recent events. Then we'll talk about industry and immigration. So the growth of cities, the different waves of immigration from different countries, kind of the countries changing. You can see the years from 1865 to 1914. Then the challenges in the late 1800s. So you know, all the all the awful things that happened to the Native Americans as the country was growing, the transformation of the West, political corruption, farm issues. So just as the country grew, you know, what challenges were faced. America comes of age from 1890 to 1920. So this is things like Theodore Roosevelt, progressives, striving for equality, right? Women getting the right to vote. So kind of the things that happened during this time, 1890 to 1920. Then World War I in the 1920s. We'll talk about World War I. Then we'll talk about like the Jazz Age and the Harlem Renaissance and just kind of what American life was like in the 20s. Then we'll hit the Great Depression and the New Deal. After that, we're into World War II, right? So because this is U.S. history, it's going to be a lot about what's going on at home during World War II, but also the different battles and things that the United States was involved in. So these are the things we'll be talking about. Then we'll be under the Cold War, right? The Cold War. We'll talk about that, the culture, different things happening in the 1950s. Then we have some civil rights and reforms, right? So the civil rights movements. Yes, civil rights. We'll be talking a lot about that. So here you have Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and John F. Kennedy, and so just different three, you know, pretty prominent figures of that era. Then we'll be talking about the Vietnam War, the Cold War, the anti-war movement, and the war's end. And then hopefully we get, it's always hard to fit all this information in. So hopefully we can get into the 60s, 70s, and 80s and kind of the things that happened during those years. Nixon, you know, the counterculture, women's rights, all sorts of stuff. And then hopefully we can get to, you know, America from the 1980s to today. It's always hard to cover all of that. I do talk a lot about current events in the class. So I think a lot of this kind of standard kind of happens during, as we talk about current events and what's going on in the world, because I want to make sure students are aware of the world around them. Okay, so that is that. So again, here's my contact information. I don't know if you want to take a picture of this or something just so you have it handy. But again, yeah, yeah, I love my job. I love working with young folks. I wish I could do it in person, but yeah, we're just gonna keep doing the best we can. And yeah, I very much enjoyed getting to know your students. And again, please don't. Thanks so much for watching, and please feel free to reach out about anything. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye. Be safe.